Welcome back, folks. We had the Dow Industrials finished down $1.60, Nasdaq off 33, S&Ps are off 19. As we do each and every Wednesday at 20 past the second hour, we have our man, Mr. Darrell Martin. Darrell, folks, trades the Nadex products, outstanding products. Now, if you haven't test drove the Nadex exchange, folks, come over to our website at TFNN. You're going to see the Nadex banner right on the front page. You can test drive it. You'll bring up a demonstration account. They'll put $25,000 into that account for you, funny money, and you can get used to trading these vehicles. We're going to talk to Darrell right now about how he does trade them. Now, the really cool thing, folks, is this, is that Darrell, myself, and Dan Cook are going to be at the Traders Expo from June 6th to the 9th. That's at the Hyatt Regency Dallas at Reunion. And we are going to do a 4-hour workshop on June 6th. Now, you can come over to our website at TFNN, and you're going to see the Traders Expo banner. Now, that workshop is free, folks. It's a 4-hour workshop that is being sponsored by Nadex. So if you like to growl and prowl with us and learn a lot about the markets, and in particular learn about a lot about how the Nadex products trade, well, you come and see and throw some dots with, you can throw dots at Darrell and I. Darrell, what's going on?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Going great, man. You having a good day out there?
I'm having a great day. You got to be loving these markets.
I'm telling you, there's no doubt about it. In fact, you know, this morning, Steve and it was the first time that I pulled off one of these Forex trades. And that was a really interesting, man, because a lot of this has to do, I guess, it's about that either the ceiling or the bottom, right? I mean, that's what it seems. Yeah, that's what it seems to be, right? So.
And one of the great things that they do is they're always releasing new ones, like every couple hours.
Yes.
So there's always a trade. You know, trading opportunities are always coming up.
Right.
So they have the long-term ones that they start like in the evening, and then they have ones they start like right at the beginning of the trading day.
Right.
And they also have ones that are releasing like every hour or two. So you always have basically trades where there's a spread that is close to the ceiling or floor of the underlying market.
So let me ask you this. One of them, I got it, and it did better than the short-term one I had. What time does one of them didn't have a time frame on it, and I bought that one too. When does that expire? That's like the all-day one. So when does that expire?
Okay, it depends upon what market you're trading. So this
is the Euro-US dollar.
Euro-US dollar, that ought to be 3:15 Central, 4:15 Eastern.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's because it came across. I should have looked at it when it came across the email. Okay, I see what you're saying. Right. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, I got it right here. It's actually for euro dollar, it's going to be 3 o'clock Eastern.
3 o'clock Eastern. Okay.
So that's actually on all the pairs, all the Forex pairs. For the daily one, the big one that didn't have a time on it.
Yes.
That's going to expire at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Okay. Cool, man. So, you know, folks, Darrell, myself, and Dan Cook, we're going to be there, man. This is pretty amazing that this is next week.
Yeah, I'm going to be. What I'm going to be doing is we're all going to be teaming up, and Dan Cook's going to be. He's actually, you know, from Nadex, so he's going to be teaching there. You're going to be teaching on, you know, just how you basically look at the markets and how you take advantage of the markets. And I'm going to be coming in. I'm really going to be focusing on Nadex spreads. And the event's actually going to be during live trading hours.
Right.
So I'm going to be pulling up some stuff, and we may throw in a few trades while we're going.
Yes.
And just have some fun. But yeah, I'm going to go through the spreads. I'm going to go through the binaries. I'm going to talk about how they work, what the ratios are, like, 5 S&P, 5 U.S. 500s to 1 ES.
Right.
I'm going to go into, how they tick and how margin works and how leverage works. Talk about the binaries. I'll even talk about how to hedge, how to combine like your futures or your Forex or your major ETFs with the spreads to hedge your contracts.
Okay,
and
cool.
It's a 4-hour live event, completely free, sponsored by Nadex.
And folks, okay, so if you just want to understand, this is going to be really cool because we're going to combine this whole deal. So watch, what we did out here this morning, Darrell, is that, and I did this actually in my daily newsletter also, but I was buying the QLD. But what you had here, folks, this morning is this. If we look at I use these 10-minute charts going back, 4 to 9 days. What you had is that on the 24th, you had a high volume spike. And that high volume spike, the high of that was $61.89. So coming in this morning, it was like, okay, get a nice gap down. I says, oh, I like this, okay. Why did I like it? Because I know about the amount of energy that has to be taken out of a market when it spikes down. Well, we didn't buy the open, but I bought under the open. To be exact, what it was is 62.10 on the Qs. Now that correlation, and this is what, when Darrell and I, my part would be like this, as to what are you waiting for? Well, you're waiting for something like this, because the first spike down, folks, okay, at 9:30 only had 4.3 million shares, and guess what? It was going against 10.5 million. And that was the low of the day. That's it. And that's what you're going to be looking for, The sweet thing about these Nadex spreads is that your trade is literally, once the trade is on, that's your stop, and you can have volatility all day long, and it can go out of the money, but yet if it comes back in the money, well, you're in the money,
Exactly. So with that trade, you're hopping on. You're like, wow, okay, I'm going to hop on and maybe buy the Qs now, or the Nasdaq 100.
Yes, the Nasdaq 100. Right.
And you could throw that trade on with a floor that's really close to you. And let's just say it's one of those days where usually that works, but this time it didn't. You're not sweating it out, and if it does spike against it, like you're saying, if it comes back before the end of the day, which it did in a lot of areas, depending upon what market you're looking at, then you can still profit.
Well, what happened there. This is what's really cool about that. That trade there, that went in the money for me. That trade was right at the floor. So what happens, folks, is this: when the trades are at the floor, like I paid 4 or 5 NQ points for premium. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At that floor, but it was right at the floor, folks. Okay, so that means that I only was really losing. In fact, this one was right at the floor, so I was losing this premium that I paid, and that's it. Okay, but bottom line is that you had the spike up intraday. And that spike up was pretty dramatic. It was a decent spike up, so.
Oh yeah, it went from 12, what was it, 25? I think the bottom was somewhere around 25.20.
Yes.
And they went up to 25, 45, 46.
Yeah, no, it was, and it continues to be, they pulled it back at the end of the day, but the bottom line is that we got up to 25.44, man.
And one of the things we'll be talking about at the expo is I'll actually be talking about how you can literally combine binaries or spreads together.
Okay.
Use them as trailing stops. So let's say you're up 20 points.
Yes.
Okay? Well, remember, spreads come out constantly, right?
Right.
You could hop in there and you could sell another spread. Okay, because you bought this spread. You could sell another spread and say, if you're up 20 points, and let's say it cost you 3 or something, okay?
Right.
And so you put up, you risk 3 points, but it locks in your profit. But if it keeps going up, you've only given up 3 points of your profit. But if it falls back down, you don't have to worry about it. So it lets you, basically give the trade room to run, but still, basically locking in your profits.
And folks, just, come over to our website, test drive the product, and we're going to bring you through one more trade, because when Darrell brought me through this trade the first time, that's when I really got to understand the product. And what happens is this, is that they trade in 100 lots. But if you buy 5 of the S&P 500, that equals 1 E-mini. And what we're talking about, which is so cool, is that when you're close to the floor, well, the bottom line is that you already know what your loss is. So if we were just trading E-mini, you'd have to get out at a certain point. Well, bottom line is that you don't have to get out, because you already know what your loss is, and you can't lose any more, and it comes back in the money, and you get the money. You get the money, honey.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay, man. Hey, listen, you have a great one, safe one. Of course, Darrell, we're going to be right back here Friday morning, folks.
I'll see you Friday.
Look forward to seeing you next week, too, Darrell.